Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Cousin Mel, October. What I am going to do for you tonight or today is I'm going to do beef stroganoff. Now, I didn't, I only bought an oven roast because I couldn't find, it was actually cheaper than the roast was cheaper than the beef, stewing beef. So I bought, whoops, around here. So I bought the stewing beef. I'm just going to take off the fat because it's not needed. It's partially frozen. And the only reason I left it like that is, as you see, it's easier to cut. If you have it fresh, that's fine. I just um, I just find when it's partly thawed, it's just easier to cut. So I'm going to cut it up in like this. The outside is thawed, but the inside is um, still cold. So I'm just going to cut it up like this and then through it. And like I said, I find it, I could let it thaw a little bit more, but once I start cutting through it, it's not going to take long. And we're going to fry it up a little bit anyway. So it says it says 2 pounds. I probably got a little bit more than 2 pounds here. I probably got about 2.5. I got 1.3 kilograms. So let's see. But then I'm just gonna, yeah, I just find it easier to cut up. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna get it all chopped up into little bite-sized pieces. And then I'm gonna just fry it up a little bit. Oh, excuse me, fry it up a little bit with some oil and salt and pepper to taste. And if you want, just fry it up in small batches. You don't have to fry it up all at once because you're more or less just searing the outsides of them. So I'll probably just use this for as my first batch, and I'll show you what I mean. See? So I'll stir that up as my first batch, and then I'll come back and get it ready for the crock pot. So I will fry that up in a little bit of oil. I'm only going to use about, for this batch, a tablespoon of oil. Come the next batch, I might have to add a little bit more. I might not have to. I will show you what it looks like when I first do my first batch. And like I said, I'm just going to use salt and pepper and nothing else because we are going to add stuff into our crock pot. So I will get this started, seared up. So it's only going to be probably about maybe 5 minutes each side just to get a sear on it. And then we take it off. And like I said, when you take your next batch, if you need more oil, put more oil in and we'll continue. So I'll be right back. Well, here it is off the out of the oven, off the stove. And I'm just gonna place it in my crock pot. And there's enough oil in there, so I'm not gonna put any more in right now for the next batch. So, like I said, it's just enough to give it a little sear on the side and all around. So I will get this done. And then I'm gonna start with my next batch. So once I get all of it done, I will come back, guys, and we will continue. Okay, so I got all my meat done. Now I'm going to deglaze my pan. Now I don't have red wine, but I had red wine vinegar, so I went 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar and 1/4 cup of water. So I'm going to put this into my pan, heat it up, and scrape it all off, all the yumminess in there. And then I'm going to add that to my crock pot. So I will go get that deglazed, and I will be right back. So as you see, there's nothing else in my pan. So I'm going to add that right to my crock pot. Okay. So I'll turn you towards my crock pot so you can see what's going on here. So as I got that done, I am now going to add mushroom or onion. I'm using a red onion, but you can use whatever you like. I'm going to use, I don't have Dijon mustard, so I am just going to use yellow mustard. I thought I had Dijon, but I didn't, and now it's too late for me to go anywhere to get anything. So, the Dijon mustard, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of, well, I'll say Dijon mustard, but if you don't have Dijon, just use mustard. Take that out. Okay. 1 tablespoon of Dijon. I'm going to use my finger. I wash my hands quite a bit, so. And I had just washed them before. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's the tongue twister. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of that. That's there done. And I am going to put in 2 cups of beef broth. Broth. Actually, there's the red wine vinegar that I used. I just added water. So if you got the same problem, if it's a 1/2 cup, use 1/4 and 1/4. If you're ever using it and there's 1 cup, then use 1/2 and 1/2. It's always 1/2. Just gotta get my other. Oh, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to it. I only need a little bit, so. Okay. So 2 cups of beef broth. And I'm gonna add some garlic powder. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Let's see what else. I gotta put mushrooms in here yet, so I was only supposed to add 1 3/4 cups. I had the right amount. Sorry about that, guys. I was only supposed to add 1 3/4 cups of broth because I had to save a little bit of broth, but that's okay. Nothing to worry about. That was my fault. So I'm going to just stir this around. Because this is going to cook on low for 7 to 8 hours. I will stir it halfway through. I still have to put in 3/4 of a pound, so probably about a box and a half, depending on the size. So I'm just going to grab my mushrooms. I'll put this back in the fridge. See, my mushrooms they're huge. So I am going to use up these two things of mushrooms that I bought just for this recipe, but the mushrooms are so huge, like they're big. So I'm going to cut them up. I'm not going to cut them very thick. I'm just going to cut them up a good size, but not extremely thick. Because I gotta wash them and then I gotta cut them. So I'm gonna get these washed and I will be right back. So I got them washed. Well, the first bunch I got washed. So I'm just gonna cut them, like I said, not very thick. Because I do want them to really shrink. So I'm just gonna cut them up, like I said, not very thick, thin, but and I'm gonna add that to my crock pot. So I will get these finished and then I will be right back. So I was wrong about how much mushrooms to use. 3/4 of a pound would be 1 box because the box is 397 or 400. So it'd be just 1 box. So I do have just the 1 box of mushrooms done in here. Okay. So what do I have to do now? Let's see. Okay. So you can cook on high for 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours, or you can cook on low for 7 to 8 hours. I'm cooking on low for 7 to 8 hours because it is. Hey guys, just in case you forgot, 1 box is enough. I thought it was be about 1.5, but each mushroom is only 397 grams, so that's enough to cover. 1 box would be enough. That'd be like 3/4 of a pound. What else was I going to say? You can cook this on high for 5 to 6 hours or 4 to 5 hours, or on low 7 to 8 hours. I'm cooking it on low for 7 to 8 hours because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning here. This will be ready for when my son gets home from work tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going just to cook it on low, and we got a couple more things to do and add, and then we'll be back. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so we're almost at the end of her. It's been 8 hours on low. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add half a cup of beef broth. Shouldn't have used this to me on my, I used too much, but that's okay. I'm just going to put in an extra thing of cornstarch. So I got 4 tablespoons. If I hadn't used all the beef broth in the beginning, I would only go with 3 tablespoons. But because I added the 2 cups instead of cup and a half, then I'm adding the extra. Okay, so we're just gonna stir this around. Make sure there's no lumps in it. Wash my hands with my cornstarch. And little cornstarch, it can get so messy. Okay. So now I'm going to, there's my slow cooker. Take the top off it. Spatula. So I'm going to take my cornstarch in that, mix it in, mix it around. Smells amazing. Okay. With that done, I'm also taking 1 cup of sour cream. And I'm going to add my sour cream to it and mix that around. Okay, and I'll get that all stirred up and around. And I am putting this on egg noodles. But I'm going to probably leave it on for 20 minutes to a half hour just to get everything to thicken up. So I got that all stirred around. Show you what it looks like. But it will, like I said, it will thicken up. So I'm going to put the top back on it. And I'll let it thicken up a little bit, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I just wanted to let you know, guys, that I turned my crock pot up to high. I left it for about a half hour, but it didn't seem like it was thickening up. I think it's because the crock pot was on low. So I turned it up to high, and I left it for a little bit, and it's starting to thicken up. So I'm going to leave it on high for about a half hour and see if that makes a difference. If I find that it's still kind of watery and not as thick as I want, I'm going to make another slurry. It'll probably be 2 tablespoons of, or 4 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and see if I can thicken it up. But I'll come back and let you know. So since I put it on high, it is thickening up. So I'm not going to have to use any more slurry. I just wanted to come on and tell you guys that. I did turn it up to high. where it's getting hot, it's starting to thicken up. It doesn't help that I keep taking the top off to check it. But I just wanted to make sure that it was thickening up and that I didn't have to add anything to it. So in a couple minutes, I am going to do my egg noodles up. I think I showed you them. Wait, now I'll show you. This is what I'm having with it. These ones are the extra broad, and then I have ones that are just broad. So one's just a little bit bigger than the other. I'm probably going to use the extra broad, just to have something a little thicker. And you can have that with garlic bread, regular bread, whatever you want with it, or just the noodles and the beef stroganoff. So I'll get these done, and then when I come back to serve it, I'll show you what it looks like. And don't forget to check out Jerry Ellen at Cooking with Neighbors, my cousin, and to see what she has done. See you in a bit. All right, so I have my noodles done. So I'm going to put you down so you can see. I'm just going to put some on my plate. Anything left, I'm just going to put in the crock pot. So there's my noodles. And now I will get some of my lovely beef stroganoff. Oh my God, it smells so good. I'm just gonna bring a little bit here. And that's it, guys, for the beef stroganoff. And like I said, if you want to have it with garlic bread or just bread and butter or whatever you like. I'm just adding the rest of my noodles in, so when my son gets home, nothing is stuck together. So I'm just going to move it around. Yes, 1 minute, Dakota. He smells food, so he's looking to come in. And I'll show you what it looks like in the pot when you get all the noodles done. Just 1 sec, buddy. So I'll show you what it looks like in the pot. So that is it there. And I'm just going to take a bite. Yeah, I hear you, honey. That is so good. Might need a little bit more salt, but it is good. So that is it for me for this week. For this crock pot recipe. If you get to give it a try, please let me know. Leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.